Students, mute yourself, and are you able to see the PPT?
Sir.
Okay. Okay, so yesterday we were discussing about the AC and DC analysis of BJT, and in that discussion I have drawn this figure number 1, which is a typical figure of BJT as an amplifier. Here we have the DC sources and AC sources both in the circuit diagram, as well as we have the load resistor and coupling capacitor and emitter bypass capacitor, CC and CE. When we have to do the DC analysis, at that time, since the frequency of the DC source is 0, so the capacitive reactance offered by the capacitance will be infinite. So we have to make the capacitors open circuit when we are doing the DC analysis. And at the same time, we have to do the short circuiting of the AC source, right? So in this way, this type of figure number 3, you can see the figure number 3. This figure will be made when we are doing the DC analysis. Capacitors are open circuit, so that was removed. And the load resistor RL is connected as the output. That will also be removed because it is connected to the open circuit coupling capacitor CC. So figure number 3 will be there, and DC analysis means the various parameters like IE, IB, IC, alpha, beta, VBE, VC, all these things we can calculate. Now, in case of the AC analysis, first point, we have to make the DC source 0. Making DC source 0 means we have to connect the DC source to the ground or short circuit. Second point, now in AC analysis, the source will have certain frequency, and we have to do the analysis for different frequencies. So basically we will categorize the frequencies for the analysis in 2 parts. One is low frequency AC analysis and another is high frequency AC analysis. So low frequency analysis, AC analysis will be done for a signal in the frequency range of 20 Hz to 20 kHz. Means the signal which is in audible frequency range. If we are doing analysis of that signal, so that will be the low frequency amplifier analysis. And if the signals are radio signals, that is the frequency is in the range of megahertz or more, then we have to do the high frequency analysis. Okay. Now, since we know that the capacitive reactance is given by 1 by 2 pi f c. So let us assume, let frequency of the signal is 1000 hertz, right? So this means this is the, we are talking about low frequency, right? We are talking about low frequency because a frequency in the range of 20 hertz, audible range, 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz will be categorized, is categorized as low frequency signal, right? So let us assume the frequency of a signal is 1000 hertz. We are talking about low frequency. And let us also assume we are having a capacitor of value, capacitor C of value 1 microfarad. 1 microfarad. Generally in practical circuit, we use the capacitor of much higher value, right? I have taken very lower value of the capacitor, that is 1 microfarad. But when you develop some practical circuits, at that time the value of the capacitor is much higher, right? But let us take this case. If this is the case, F is 1000 hertz, capacitor is 1 microfarad, then the capacitive reactance offered by this capacitor at this frequency will be 2 pi into frequency is 1000 into capacitor is 1 microfarad. So you write in farad. So 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 6, right? So if the frequency is in hertz and capacitance value is in farad, so finally you will get this capacitive reactance unit in ohm, right? So if you calculate this, so I have already done the calculation for this. So if we have calculated this, we get a value of 1.59, 1.59 ohm. Okay. So now you see the resistance offered by a capacitance of value 1 microfarad at 1000 hertz is 1.59 ohm. It is a very small value, right? Because 1.59 ohm is very small value, because when we connect the resistors in the transistor amplifier, various resistor RB, RC, RE, those values are much higher, right? Value of capacitor, the value of collector resistor RC, maybe in kilo ohm, right? Like that. So this 1.59 is a very small value, and this value 1.59 is coming when we are taking the value of capacitance as 1 microfarad, which is still very small, because for a practical applications the value of capacitor is not 1 microfarad, it is much higher. So now suppose if the value of capacitor, now let the value of capacitor we have taken now somewhat near to a practical value like 100 microfarad, right? This. and frequency is same 1000 hertz. So if for this condition we calculate, can someone calculate the value of capacitive reactance? Xc is equal to, frequency is same 1000 hertz. So you find out the value of this Xc. Yes, someone can calculate. See, already there is no need of calculation, because you see here we have calculated 1.59 for 1 microfarad, and we are talking about 100 microfarad. You simply divide it by 100. Whatever 1.59 ohm we got for 1 microfarad. So you simply divide it.
0.159.
So 0.159. No. 0.0159. 0.0159. Right? Now you see the capacitive reactance is very small, 0.0159, right? And this value you can approximately consider it as 0 ohm, right? It is 0 ohm, right? So what is the conclusion? Now one more thing, you see this expression Xc is equal to 2 pi Fc, and the frequency we are talking about for low frequency 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. So here we are talking about 1000 hertz. If you increase the frequency, then the value of Xc will be further lower, right? It will be further less. So here, what is the conclusion from our this discussion? Yes, anyone can tell what is the conclusion from our this discussion for the low frequency? Yes, someone can tell, since you see this part when Xc is approximately 0 or very less at the low frequency, then what is the conclusion?
If the capacitance value increases, capacitor reactance decreases at low frequency.
That is okay. But since we have calculated the value of the capstan, it is coming very less, right? And this capacitive reactance value you see here in this figure, right? This is typical BJT amplifier figure here right now, which is in front of you. Now here you see the RC register, RC, which you connect with your amplifier. Its value will be in kilo ohm. The value of RB will be in kilo ohm, or RB will be slightly less, but RE is in kilo ohm. So all these resistances are having values in higher values, but the reactance due to CC coupling capacitor and CE capacitor will be very less, and it is almost 0. So the meaning of 0 is here is you can short these capacitors at low frequency. If your amplifier is working at low frequency, then you can short these capacitors. Just like in DC analysis, what we have done for the capacitors, we have made the capacitors as a open circuit when we were doing DC analysis, right? So if like that. Now see here figure 2, CC capacitor open circuit, CE capacitor open circuit. This we have done for the DC analysis because the capacitor is just like open circuit for a DC signal. But now when we are doing analysis for the AC signal, and in AC we have to do the analysis for two type of signal. One is low frequency, one is high frequency. So when we are doing low frequency analysis, at that time we have to make the capacitors short circuit, right? So this is the conclusion here, whatever we have discussed now. So here you can say at audio frequency, at audio frequency XC is approximately 0 ohm, right? That is we should short circuit. We should short circuit capacitors. Okay. So now when we are doing AC analysis and especially at the audio frequency, then whatever capacitor you are seeing in your circuit diagram, you have to short circuit that capacitors, those capacitors. That is point number 1. And point number 2, here you see this point, DC source we will make 0, right? DC source we will make it 0. So now here I will draw that old figure number 1. Okay, so this is the figure. Here we have output, V out. Right. So now, if we are doing the DC analysis at the low frequency, sorry, AC analysis at the low frequency, then first thing, we will make the capacitors short circuit, right? We will make the capacitors short circuit. So if you will make the capacitors short circuit, then our figure will be like this. This is your RB. Here we have RC. Here we have RE. Now across RE there is one capacitor, and that capacitor has to be short circuit. We have to short circuit this, and this is our CE capacitor, and here we have CC capacitor, that also short circuit. This is C capacitor, and here we have RL. And here we take the output V out. Okay. So CC and CE capacitors are short circuited. Now what about the DC source? DC source also short circuit, because we are doing analysis for the AC. So DC source will be short circuit. So one DC source was there which is connected to this VCC, which is connected to RC. So what you have to do, this RC, this end will be connected to ground now, right? Because now we have removed the VCC voltage, because we are doing AC analysis. Now there was one DC source VBB, so that also short circuited. So simply here now we have only one AC source, right? We have one AC source VS. Okay, so now this type figure you will get now, right? So now what I do, I will remove this figure. Okay, so this figure you will get. Now you see here one thing. Yeah, emitter is, this is ground here. Now you see here one thing. CE capacitor, which is connected across RE. This is short circuit. So what we can do? Can we remove RE? Because you see there is some parallel connection like this, where one resistor is there, and in the parallel there is some short circuit. So if the short circuit is there, then all the current will flow through short circuit only. It will not go through the resistor, right? So you can remove RE resistor, because all the current will pass through the short circuit path, that is short circuit CE. So we can remove this. So from here you can again draw this figure in this way. Or I will do one thing. So this you can draw a new figure. Now in this new figure, we will remove the RE. We will remove the RE, right? Because the short circuit C capacitor is there across RE, so we can remove the RE. Now this RB resistor is there, it will remain there, and the AC voltage source is there. Now, now you see here in this figure, you see this figure here, RC resistance. One end of this resistance is connected to ground, right? You can draw in this way. This is one RC resistance. Okay, this is RC. One end of the RC is connected to ground, right? So I connect it to ground. Okay. Now the second end here, you see this second end. This is from here, you see this is the short circuit path. CC is short circuit path. From here, this end is connected to a resistor RL. Okay, I am talking about this end of RC. I am talking about this end of the RC. It is connected to RL. It is connected to RL. Right? And where the other end of the RL is connected, this end, I am talking about this end, where this end of the RL is connected, it is connected to ground. It is connected to ground in this way. So you just see RC and RL both are in parallel. Can you observe this? You just see this figure. One end of the RL is connected to ground. One end of the RC is connected to the ground. And the other end is connected to each other. So RC and RL both are in parallel. So I can draw this circuit here in this way. Here I can draw RC, then RL. Right? And across this RL, here we are taking the output voltage, V out. Okay. So our figure will become like this. Right. So when we are doing the DC analysis of previous figure at low frequency, then ultimately you will get this figure. So this figure I call it as here 2, 3. This figure is 4 here. And this figure is 5. Right? And this figure 5 is for DC analysis, no, AC analysis. AC analysis at low frequency, right? Because at low frequency, the capacitance will act as a short circuit. Okay. Now here, if I say, if from now you see where we are standing and looking, that is the important point. From this point, right? From this point, if I am standing here and looking inside the circuit, then I will get the internal resistance Ri. Okay. But if Ri, but if I stand here and I look inside, then what we will get? Somebody can respond. Ri dash, that is external resistance, because at this place, Rb will come in the picture, which is connected externally to the transistor. Okay, right. Now, if we stand here, this side, and we measure the resistance, then we will get external output resistance, sorry, internal output resistance, right? Then we will get internal output resistance. And if we stand here, then RC will come as a parallel to RO. Then here we will get another resistance, we call it as RO dash, right? And if we stand there, here at this place, then, and if we measure the resistance, then that resistance we denote it as RO double dash, right? In which RC will again come in the parallel with the output internal resistance, right? Now, if I say, what is the load impedance? What is the load of this? So load you can measure from this place, right here. This you can call it as RL. Means RC is in parallel with RL. Will or I call it as see RL and R1 dash. What is the difference? R1 dash is looking inside your transistor. Then RC parallel to the RO. But when I am talking about the load, then from this place I am looking outside. So then here you will get, suppose I write it I load. This is R load, right? But if I stand here and see the load, then what I will see? I will see only RL. I will see only RL. So the thing is, where you are standing and how you are looking the circuit, that is the important here. Now you say, in this circuit diagram, yes, if in this circuit diagram, if we talk about this portion, if we talk about portion, right, then if we talk about only this portion, right, and and what we do, we draw one box for this portion and we call it as a two-port network, right? Call it as two-port. We can call the transistor as a two-port network because in one terminal we can make common, and one with the common we can make the input port, and one we can with that we can make the output port. So here it is two-port network, right? Red color, and it has the two ports here. It has the two ports like this. Two ports means four terminals are there, right? So if anyhow we are able to find out the parameters of this two-port network, if you know the parameters of this two-port network, then externally you can connect the resistors only in series and parallel. You can see at the output section here, you have connected RC, which is parallel to this transistor, RL parallel to this transistor resistances, right? Only thing is you have to use the series and parallel combinations of the resistance formulas, and you can calculate various things. Whereas in the input section you see RB, it is in series. So if anyhow we are able to find out the model of this red colored box, then our life will be easy. We can simplify the things very easy because in this portion you can connect some external circuitry, and those circuitry will be resistors which are connected in parallel or capacitor, whatever connecting, you can consider the things and right, and you do the analysis. So the analysis of this red color box will be done by using hybrid parameters, H parameters, right, or by using pi model, right? So there are different models which are required to find out the parameters of this red color box, which is a two-port network, and which is, see here in red color, this transistor, whatever I have drawn here inside this red color box. So what are the various parameters of this? If we are able to calculate this, then externally connected things can very easily be solved, right? If we know the parameter of internal transistors. So that analysis, that parameter calculations we will do with the help of different models. One of the model is H parameter model, right? Another model is a hybrid pi model, right? So we will now look into those things. So how this picture figure 5 has come in, right, when we are doing the DC analysis, sorry, AC analysis at low frequency, right? Okay, so from next class we will start with the H parameter. So I think by these 2-3 lectures, these are the background which is required. So now you understand why different type of figures comes when we are talking about DC analysis or when we are talking about AC analysis. Yes. Any question, any doubt you can ask.